Again. This is going to be our second video in our series, and this is going to be our 10,000-foot view video here. We're going to just kind of take a precursory look at exactly what Byteball is, what's the differentiator between the technology behind this and the technology behind the majority of other coins that you see out there, and what exactly makes Byteball special. So, first things first, Byteball is a totally different type of technology than Bitcoin or the majority of other coins out there. Bitcoin and the rest of them run on blockchain technology, which is very secure and has its upsides for sure. But the downside, typically, because every transaction has to be grouped together into a block, and then those blocks get added to the chain, it tends to slow the process down a little bit. And so Byteball uses a newer technology called DAG, or direct acyclic graph. And what that does is, rather than having each individual transaction with all of its overhead and all of its data formed into a block, which then has to be added to the chain and then verified by all of the individual nodes, direct acyclic graph, or DAG, actually has each individual person adding their transactions to the DAG right at the end as they happen. So what this does is it allows for very low overhead, very fast speeds, and an incredibly high level of scalability. So you're going to be able to move, potentially thousands of transactions across the Byteball network once everything is in place. Whereas right now, the theoretical throughput for Bitcoin even is only roughly 7 transactions per second. So, another benefit to this is that there's no mining involved with it. It uses what's called a consensus algorithm. So, to put this in the easiest way possible, imagine you've got everybody around that's running their own nodes, and each of those nodes has to form a consensus on the transactions by using a forward transaction and a previous transaction to understand exactly what it was when they form their consensus. That's how everything gets approved and moved on, and the transaction gets taken care of. So another thing that's great about this is, a lot of people ask, why does Byteball have any transaction fees at all? Because you see Nano out there with no transaction fee. And this was in my opinion, and I'm only assuming this was a decision that was made by the developer to offset um, spamming of transactions to try to take down the network. And Nano went a different direction to try to offset that. But the developer here, I believe, decided that was a very small trade-off in order to have the security threat reduced from the perspective of spamming. And also the transaction is very, very low. I mean, even if we're at a point right now where we're at roughly $700, I believe, for Byteball, and transactions are still a fraction of a cent. Even if we get up to the point where Byteball's $100,000, transactions will only be a nickel at that point. So you're definitely not looking at anything where the cost should be an aversion to using the product. Now, there may come a time when, if it's going to go super mainstream and have a really high level of transactions, that cost may become a little bit of an issue. But as of right now, I think that it's something that was a very fair trade-off from the developer. So I don't want to keep these videos going too long. I want to make them real short so you can try to get in there, digest what's going on, and get back out. But you can really see with looking at this that Byteball is a completely unique technology. It solves a lot of the problems that Bitcoin has with high transaction fees and slow times. And it also really has a nice little piece to it without the mining that's very environmentally friendly. And I think 2018 is going to be a year where that becomes something that's very important. The other piece on this that kind of really sets Byteball apart is the security piece. So you haven't heard me mention black bytes yet, but black bytes are the completely secure off-chain kind of subcoin that Byteball uses in order to provide a anonymity piece to the coin. So I'll have a video about that in the future, and we'll go through how all that works and what differentiates it. But in the meantime, thanks for dropping into this video. If you have any comments, please leave them below, and we'll catch up next time. Thank you.